From the garage that sparked the global self-care movement, welcome to the Human Garage Experience, a podcast where we have unfiltered conversations on self-healing, consciousness, and optimizing your life with fascinating individuals changing the status quo. I'm your host, Garry Lineham, and I'm honored to have you here. Let's get down to it. You're a Grandmaster Aries. We're a Grandmaster Aries day in Gemini. Gemini is about thought leader, leadership, and you're here doing a podcast today. So what are the chances, what are the possibilities that would be happening?
No, I mean, it sounds like it was decided.
Decided somewhere by somebody.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Maybe we decided it.
Yeah.
So when you ask if I do this with everybody, yeah, because if we have our DNA, and our DNA responds to stressors and environment, epigenetics, stress, environment, food, light, all that stuff. Well, on top of that, before that, you have our soul's blueprint, which is all of the information that was a part of when we were born, the moment we're born. And they all have numbers, vectors and numbers, just like DNA. And so if we manage and look at everything inside of us, then why wouldn't we look at everything outside of us as well? And I was saying yesterday, there was, after the Superhuman conference, I went up because I came back and I had to get in a cab to go to the secret restaurant for a speaker's dinner. And they're putting people in the cab, and all of a sudden they put me in a cab, two guys get in beside me. And they're both Indians and from India, and they have this wearable technology. And this guy yesterday was a Capricorn day. And so this guy just happens to be a Grandmaster Capricorn.
Oh, wow.
Okay. And he had on his list of people he wanted to meet. Coming at the conference I was second on his list.
And he didn't know that you were in the cab?
No, we just got in. So what are the chances? Yeah, is that just a coincidence or is there something to it?
Oh, this is, I feel I need to learn more about astrology. I actually don't know anything. I mean, I read sometimes in the papers just for fun. But how many different, if you say Grandmaster Aries, how many different Aries, for example, is
Well, there's 30. There's 9, 18, and 27, which are Grandmasters. You're Grandmaster of Self-Mastery. So for you, it's all about learning about how to master your own leadership, your leadership inside, the world around you, how much you give to others versus how much you receive. What's the balance? That's for you. But if you were 18 degrees, it would be slightly different. It'd be more about how you did that in community. So for you, everything you're receiving and learning is really a personal journey.
It is.
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like that?
Yes, it is. I mean, I came I don't know if you read my bio, but I came into health I was totally into other stuff, but I came because of my aunt who died, and I really wanted to learn more. And I realized that during these 10 years of, gaining knowledge, we have helped other people, but we often look at each other and say that this is like an everyday, help for us, because it's so mutual when you work with health and people. It's you can't say who is helping who.
Well, sometimes there's a lot of people that work in health that actually don't help themselves. They're just helping other people, and they get sicker and sicker. I was there, so it's not a judgment. When I was in clinic, I literally wore myself almost to death. At the end of my clinical career, seeing 12 to 15 people a day, and doing 150, 200 consults a month, I ended up drinking 2 bottles of wine a night to take all the energy. I didn't even know it was there. I didn't know why. I just couldn't function unless I did it. So not everybody is on that journey. That's what I mean. Yours is in a personal journey of health and leadership and what you do. So food pharmacy. How did you do that? What was the...
Good question. Food pharmacy, it just was a name that came to me like this. Oh, we will be called food pharmacy. And someone said, but maybe that might be taken, and it wasn't taken. And so we just registered, and it started with that we ran into a professor, and he had spent his life to understand why do we get ill. And he understood at an early stage that inflammation is a big cause for many modern diseases. So he started to look into inflammation. And when I met him, I knew nothing. I mean, I thought I was rather healthy. I didn't think about health. I was also 30 something. So, but when I talked to him, I realized that, okay, if this is true, then everything I do on a daily basis actually contributes to make me sick and not healthy. And that's when I started to, dig into it deeper. Can this really be true? And why don't I know this? I mean, I read the newspaper, I watch the news, I read books, and I know nothing about this. So I could say that he started, he opened the door to a whole new world for me. But very quick when I entered that world, I realized that he's dead now. He was like 95 years old, but he's a very charismatic person. However, he was very strict in everything. So he had like 10, in the Bible you say 10...
10 commandments.
Exactly. And it was, don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat this, don't eat that. And I looked at this list and I was like, but how can I live? And that's when I started to, okay, but if this is science, how can I try to be more healthy, but still have a, enjoyable life? I don't want to, cut out everything and just have a salad, basically. So there and then we started a journey where it's me and my best friend since childhood and colleague, where we started to blog about it. Mm-hmm. And already the first week we had, 10,000 readers or something. And that's pretty much for a small country like Sweden.
Well, that's actually good in any respect.
Yeah.
10,000 readers.
Yes, but then we realized, oh wow, this is, there are so many people out there who are interested in know more how they can influence their health on a daily basis. So that was the start of our journey. And let's say it's to make it a short one, because it's been 10 years. It started with the food, but it ended up somewhere completely else. The food was just, the entering. It was something you could take on. But then I realized that food is so much more, health is so much more than what we decide to eat.
What do you mean by that?
I mean that we could, if you could look at health technically, you could look, I should eat this, I should train like this, I should go to bed at this time. And I do all of these things according to science, but still there is an emptiness inside.
Sure.
Yeah.
A lot of people are finding that out today.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of the biohackers.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I realized that this is not what real health is. And the more we tried to help people, the more we understood that, are we actually helping people, or are we actually making them more confused? Because we got so detailed emails, can I eat 1 deciliter of milk every day because I love milk? Or can I do this and can I do that? And I was like, this is it's not in the details. Sometimes it might be because you might have a, specific disease or something, but it's the big picture. And how can we inspire people to find their own ways? Because what makes you happy is not the same as what makes someone else happy.
So how do you do that then? I mean, first of all, I came from that background. This is what you had to do. It's by the book. This is how much protein, this is how much carbs, this is the supplements, we do lab tests. I mean, that was the foundation of the career, and I agree with you. The majority of people are confused. Mm. And the ones who think they're healthy, typically when we test them in a quantum level, like their organs and how their organs are functioning, how their energy resonates, their mitochondrial health, typically they're not healthy. So how do you look at it?
I mean, this is something tough actually to answer, but because it's different from different communities. First, we built communities because we believe in the power of people, you know, in a group, and we try to build it outside of social media because, you know, there is many people who are maybe skeptical towards health. Want to get in and, you know, make their opinions about different stuff, and that's not really what we're interested in. We're interested in, if you are willing, if you want to look at yourself and your life and you want to make a change, these people come into our community. So it's a very supportive community, which I think at the end of the day would be the thing that most people say, yeah, they talked about food and this and that, but it was really the community. So as we were sort of triggered into this through food, we get in people through food, but when they leave us, I would say the majority say it wasn't about the food actually. It was me who didn't accept myself, or it was me who was trapped at the wrong place with the wrong wife or husband, or, you know, things like that.
Sure.
So I would say it's a community where we try to inspire people. We talk about. We share, where me and my friend and colleague, we share, you know, our own journeys, and we're quite personal in that. And so we inspire change, and then the other participants, they start to share their own journeys, and that inspires change. Maybe it sounds a bit, you know, up in the air, but it actually. It's such a strong dynamic in a group.
Well, I guess that would be the entire way that Human Garage worldwide movement is set. It's set around the same principle. I shared my journey openly. We lived in community. We lived in community. We shared a bank account. We shared residence. We lived together. We traveled together. We worked together. We eat together. We move together. We share openly our stuff. We communicate through a set of values. So that's literally how the worldwide organization Human Garage started.
I will add to that. It's a safe space, and I think that's what many people find today. It's tough to find a safe space to share, because you have to go to work where you know, have to perform or achieve something, and then you have children maybe, and you're in different roles all the time. But here it's a safe space where you can just, you know, experience. We work a lot with breath work and, you know, different types of meditation, so you can sort of get closer to yourself. So that is what I will want to add.
That sounds very familiar. That's literally what we do. The difference is we've expanded it to the point where we work together too and live together. So that,
like this.
Like this is a very small microcosm. We've got 14, 18 people and always in Mexico we've got 8 to 10 people. In Canada we travel with 15 to 20 people, but the same course, even like the founders, we don't have separate bank accounts. We don't have separate credit cards. So we've taken it to a step, because we realized a long time during the pandemic that that the world is moving towards community. I mean, it's not the most important part of what you're saying is that you recognize this community. But what's happening is that you have community in a space, but people go back to
exactly. But you do it in a community all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. So how do you do it?
That's been the journey. We work on a set of values, because community, the interesting thing about community, the thing that people don't realize is that usually when people try to live, most intentional communities fail. Almost everyone My mom spent the last 45 years looking at intentional communities, living in them, trying to get them to work. And they fail because people have, their idea of a community is we agree upon this one thing. The government shouldn't do this, or we should be nudists, or we should work like this. We agree upon one kind of thing. We agree that electricity should be free. And, and then from there, they get together, but they realize that their cultures are different. And culture is the thing that we... culture is the unwritten rules that define how a community acts. Like in my house, the culture is we don't bring our phones to the table. We take our shoes off at the door. If somebody has a problem, we express it right away. But other cultures there, we don't express problems. We do take phone calls at dinner. You know, there's all these unwritten rules, and when somebody comes in, they don't know the rules. So culture has to be mitigated. So what we have is we created a set of values that we use to mitigate. Those values are the ones that allow us to train culture, because culture has to be trained. We all come from a different place, and because we come from a different place, we need a way to communicate when something's not working. And if there's ever a problem, it's because one of these values is... Here, I'll have you read.
Take care of yourself. Listen to...
Let's actually talk about that.
Yeah?
So we'll talk about each one. So when people are not taking care of themselves, when they're eating food that's not good for them, when they're participating in habits and behaviors that's not good, when they use chemicals in their body or in their environment, it stimulates a series of hormones that are disruptive, endocrine disruptors. And those endocrine disruptors cause disruptive behavior. So when somebody is at the core of it, and that's just the physical, if they're not taking care of themselves emotionally, eventually we have a problem. So at the core of every problem, that one's the first one. Somebody's not taking care of themselves.
Yeah. And you can also think that I'm taking care of myself, talking about what we talked about earlier. You can believe that I'm doing everything right on the paper, but actually you're not taking care of yourself. Maybe that's my journey, as we talked about.
Well, so part of it is that when you live in the same place, I know that someone's not taking care of themselves. They don't show up the same way. So go ahead, read on.
So listen to understand. That's a good one.
That's one that I work on the most because I tend to move fast. I have Grandmaster Aries energy all through me. I move fast. So listening to understand is something that's super challenging for me, or has been, and I've been working. So it's been super challenging, and I've been working to do that. But that's one that I work on every day, because I have a direction, I know a big picture, and I try to move, because I'm doing 1,000 things, I move right to the end result. So sometimes I don't listen. But that's one I get corrected on all the time.
So be caring and compassionate.
Be caring and compassionate. So for me, being caring and compassionate is to be caring. It's pretty simple. If I do something that's not caring, it becomes very often. If I'm not compassionate, you can feel it. It's an energy you can feel. How does that relate to you?
Yeah, completely. It's you can enter a room and you know exactly. I actually talked to a friend about that, and she didn't understand at all. And I was like, but you feel it.
Yeah, it's a feeling.
Yeah, you can say, whatever words, but the feeling is still there. If the words are aligned.
If they're not self-aware.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So communicate in real time.
Now this one is really important.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Well, if you have a problem with something I'm saying and you wait 4 days.
Oh, yeah.
Then eventually you're going to see another problem and another one and another one and another one. And then all of a sudden, we're not talking about that little problem. We're talking about the fact that I left the milk on the counter on the wrong spot.
That has happened so many times.
Well, so if I don't communicate, and then the other version of that is we're sitting in an interview like this, someone says, I don't like what you said. And so there's this wide variety, or we're sitting with somebody who's outside of our community and they come in and somebody says, I disagree with you, like, and it's happened in our community. And I'm like, this isn't for this person who just walked in here today. They don't know that we communicate like that. So we have to have a little bit of compassion for them, a little bit of understanding, and that might be confrontive. But if something doesn't feel right, and I say it right away, it didn't feel right for me. And having a little balance of when to say it. But if I don't communicate in real time, eventually there's going to be a problem.
That I totally agree. I just didn't understand what that you meant that. But
how does that relate to your life?
Now it's something I've been working on a lot, because in my previous, like when I was younger, I never communicate in real time until it came to like the hell now, and I was so upset. But I mean, it's unfair to the person that you have been, it's not a transparent relationship if you keep things to yourself that you're not happy with.
So scroll down that list a little bit. There's one word you just used.
Be transparent. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So communicate in real time and be transparent. You said that it's not being transparent. So being transparent is the truth. It's like I've got one of the things being transparent is I just had a fight with my partner, or I had something go on, or somebody died in my family, or I'm dealing with something. If I don't tell anybody that I'm dealing with that, then they feel it, but they don't know. And if they feel it and they don't know how to act or respond around me. And how does that work for you?
No, that's that resonates to me completely, because it
even as a Swede.
Yes, it does.
Because a lot of Swedish people aren't transparent.
No, they aren't.
And they don't communicate in real time.
No, they aren't. But that's the lucky thing when you work with your best friend and you have built your own community in a way,
So this is things that you do already.
Yes, I try to. I noticed that now I'm not completely honest here or transparent. So then I try to, walk back. But since we are the one who holds the space, it's easier for us to set the rules, like be transparent, when we can show up and we can share, like I'm dealing with something, I'm not in the best.
Sure. And you do that, right?
Yes, we do that.
So the important part about that is, actually, I'll save that for the end because it's go ahead, read on.
So be flexible and adaptable.
What does that mean to you?
That is, to me, that it's not hard for me. I think I've been flexible and adaptable all my life.
But not everybody around you is.
No, that's why I have to work with, being not too flexible. Maybe I have been too flexible and adaptable, but I realize it's,
So you haven't always set boundaries.
No, exactly.
Okay.
So for me, that would have been set boundaries.
Yeah.
Think of not to be too flexible.
Yeah, I can say that in the early stages, we tell people you have to set boundaries, because that's the early stages, because people have none. But once you are okay with setting boundaries, then that's not a value. And you said something earlier about you don't always live up to these. But these aren't absolutes. That's the whole point. These are measuring sticks. An absolute, no one can live to. And if it's an absolute, everybody's going to fail. But these are just the way that we measure to make sure that we're in line with that north node. Like, we want to live in community. We want to work together. We want to go on this combined mission. We want to help each other. So this is the way that we measure so that we know that we're on track.
Be honorable in all relationships.
If fascial maneuvers have transformed your life like they have mine, take the next step and help others. We have a certified coaching program, and you don't need to be a practitioner or a coach to do it. If you want to learn more about your own body in detail and help others, this is the program for you. Our certified program will not only show you the basic tools on how to help yourself, it will give you the business expertise and contacts to make it happen. If now is the time to change your life, then take that step today. When we live in community, this has been a challenge for us sometimes. Well, no, it's not a challenge. It's I am inherently honorable in all relationships. But sometimes people's version of what that is, like I'll give you an example. We had a community, when we first started our community, started bringing people in, we had a couple people that, brought +1. They said, no, I'm here, but everybody contributed. But then a couple people said, no, I have a girlfriend now, or a boyfriend, and I want to bring them in. And then the boyfriend or the girlfriend didn't contribute, and over time that started to cause a problem. Yeah. So then at one point we had to send somebody away. And they were like, you're not being honorable. I gave up my life. And I said, well, you didn't ask us. I mean, you didn't come into community with a role. You came in and we were trying to help you find a role because you're with this person. But you've been so disruptive in the community, you've caused these issues that we've addressed in real time. But now it's at a point where it's so disruptive that we have to ask you to leave. And that was one of the tough ones. Or when we actually work together, so you have to fire somebody.
That's tough.
Yeah, it's like we live together. I'm sorry, and it's been like, as we've grown around, we found a way to mediate this where people come in. But when we started during the pandemic in our organization. We did everything. We gave everything away for free, so we didn't pay people salaries. So that was tough. Now when we have salaries, there's a bit more accountability to that. But that was the things that we were dealing with in that one. Being honorable in relationships has been something for me my whole life, and it's something that always gets challenged. How do you deal with that?
I mean, that is that's the, how should I say, always coming back thing. I guess that's the thing when you come to a situation with people that you have to think, talking about being flexible and adaptable and set your own boundaries. This is, to me, it's sort of linked with this because it comes to a place where you feel that this is not honorable.
Yeah, so, you're not honoring you anymore.
No, exactly.
And you're loyal to a fault.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you're the queen of loyalty, right?
Yes, yes.
Grandmaster Aries. Yeah. To the point where you're saving everybody.
Yeah, but not loyal to myself.
Right.
Yeah. So this is it's something that I've always been working on to see. Sometimes it could be hard for me to see clearly. Is it me now? Is it something else? Talking about leaving the milk on the counter. Is it me who is upset for something I didn't speak about?
Right. Or is it, yeah, exactly.
Or is it, am I right in this? That can be really tricky sometimes because your mind can, there is an ego also there. And to know, is this, who is talking now?
How do you get through that?
I haven't figured it out, but I work on it.
Well, you can go back to one of the previous values. Communicate in real time.
Yes.
So if I communicate in real time, I can communicate in a compassionate way and say, hey, I was feeling really triggered about you leaving the milk on the counter. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I'm probably I could be in my head about it, and I'm not sure whether it's me because I was feeling frustrated and I didn't address it, or if it's that milk shouldn't be there and it's the 10th time. I'm not sure which one it is. Can we talk about it? So that's why the values exist not in absolutes, but in those values, each one of them are in community with the other ones.
Yes, I realize that when I read them through. But
by the way,
yeah,
we took 100 values and we trimmed them down to 50, then trimmed them down to 20. And what happened was we thought we had some values, and then when we had to send somebody away or discipline somebody, as a community, we had to say this isn't okay. What we found is the true values are the ones that worked when we had a problem. So they allowed us to communicate through the problem. If they didn't communicate, if we weren't able to get through the problem, then they're just values that are thrown on a wall, like most corporations have the values on a wall. But never are they ever achieved or met. They're too vague and too, like, we value authenticity, you know, or we value connection, but that it's too vague.
Yeah, connection. What is that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So how do you know when you're connecting? How do you know when not? So for us, a value has to be something that I can use when things go wrong, to know where I am. Am I right? Are they right? Are we both right? Are we both wrong?
So now it's be transparent then. Again.
Yeah, we had that one.
Yeah. So always improve. I like that.
Yeah, it used to be for me, always look for a better way. But that was something that drove the entire movement. In all of my businesses, that's always been a value. But I realized that always look for a better way meant that I wasn't doing it the right way. That the way of looking at it was, if I'm looking for a better way, it means that way was not as good. The other way was to say it was just always improve. Like, hey, we made a mistake. Like, this didn't work out. We had an argument. Somebody got angry. We had a fight. You know, like, how do we do better next time? So that was really the idea behind it, is just always taking a step forward. And a lot of our projects are, we go forward, we fail, we don't do a good job, and we take the next step forward. And we go forward, we get feedback, and these are all things that we're always looking at improving.
Do you work with like a core close to you, or do you work with everyone? How does it work?
It's changed, because at first, for 5 years, it was 4, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20. We went on tour around the world with 20 people. And then we put those values in our community of millions, well, tens of thousands, and then thousands practicing, and tens of thousands observing and working with it, and then millions around the world watching. And but now the 4 founders are going out in different directions, and we're reestablishing, like right now, we're reestablishing new teams. So we're bringing new people on that weren't here like 6 months, a year, or 2 years ago. So it was everybody together at once, and now we're going out and saying, how do these values work in each of us in our own little lives? And do they work, and do we still communicate back in? There's no absolutes. That's the whole point.
So make things simple.
Too many values, too many rules, things aren't simple. And if things aren't simple, if people can't repeat those, if people can't repeat the values, like one of the things that we're going to do, because we have a new team, like people here have been here for like 3 months, 6 months, you know, some 12 months, not for years. So one of the things that we just talked about when we were in Dubai is, let's take those, print up a little nice little laminated card in every place, because we're in a different spot every 2 weeks. So let's put it on the walls everywhere. Because we don't have a place where we can, you know, carve it into the wall or anything, because we're also moving.
Yeah.
So that's part of it, is make things simple. And if the values are not something that people can repeat regularly, or at least half or 3/4 of them, then they're not values, they're just words.
So do you think you will keep all these values, or do you think you will keep on shrinking them?
I think the objective would be to shrink them, but the challenge with shrinking them is nepotism. Do you know what that word is? So nepotistic, if we all are the same people, we stop, we don't use them anymore, because that's how we live. But if a new person comes in, they don't have that length of time of practicing.
No.
So there has to be a base amount that described for a new person to walk through the door and be able to figure out how to act with us within a period of a couple of weeks. There have to be enough of them, because those are all points, reference points. Like,
yeah, and something can I mean, some words appeal to you, and some words you like, I can't, this means nothing to me. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
To have more. So have fun. That's so important.
We work hard at it. I don't think everybody in our organization at all the time has fun. I think there's times when we get too serious. We work hard. We can tell that, but we have fun. We're always dancing and singing and goofing off. Like we were at the Superhuman convention yesterday, and everybody was attracted to us because we were singing, we were dancing. They had cameras on us they're like, who are these strange people?
Yeah.
But
who are these people who have fun?
Yeah, but that's who we are, and I think I feel that we do that. We have a lot of fun. We work hard, but we do. Yeah.
But it's even more important when you work hard to let go and have fun. And I mean, it doesn't have to be one or another. You can work hard and yet have fun.
We definitely do that. Yeah, and it shows up because you can see it in our social media all the time. You know, the goofy things that we do, and then we laugh and stuff like that. So I say we do a good job of having fun, especially compared to most people. Like if we recorded if we recorded even a quarter of the stuff we did and put it on, because we only get a small amount on social media, but it's fun.
You know, this is me and my colleague. When we wrote our first book, which is it's.
Tell me about your books. How many books?
4 books. We wrote our first book 2016, and it's actually the 7th most sold book in Sweden during this century, from 2000 to now. And the reason for that is often said is because it's written about food, but with a lot of humor. I will give you one of our books. It's in English, but humor is so important to us in everything we do. We need to like
food humor.
Humor about everything.
Would you call this a date?
Sorry?
Would you call this a date?
What do you mean by a date?
Us together here. This is a date, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could eat it too.
Yes, yes, but I mean, this is how me and my colleague.
And if it came off the tree, we could figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. This is how me and my colleague are, working all the time. Yes.
Let us talk.
You know, this is what we talked about earlier, about English and Swedish. This is where you lose sort of...
yeah, but you can get it. Let us talk.
I can get it, but
Yeah.
But it's the nuances in the language that makes it harder.
But you have your own in Swedish.
Yeah, we have our own.
Yeah.
We can just say, one, and also we've known each other for all our life, so we can just...
But is that how it works? Is it jokes around food?
Yes. Yes, it is. It's because everything when we entered the food science, so to speak, everything was so allvarligt. How do you say serious? Everything was so serious.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah. And
so what are some of the serious things about food science and dieting that you used to believe that you don't believe anymore? Because reasonably you're an expert on food, right?
I don't know if I am actually an expert in anything.
Well, that would make you an expert, by the way. It's only experts who don't know if they are.
Okay.
But from the outside world, people would say you're an expert.
Yeah, people look at me and they think I'm an expert.
Okay, well that makes you an expert.
Yeah. Okay, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. So, what are some things about the seriousness of food and food science that you used to believe in that you no longer believe in today?
I believe that. I believed that you could create the perfect plate, right. Or that it was one certain way to eat, But I realized that there is not. And talking about macronutrients, for example, I'm totally uninterested in this, by the way. But if you're talking about how much protein, I'm sure that it's so different. It depends on how you live your life, who you are, how you feel when you eat it, and
so a lot of it, like you're talking macronutrients. A lot of people count their macros.
Yeah, I would never do. I would never count calories.
So it's the counting. Yeah, as I hear you saying.
Yeah, the counting. I'm totally.
So what about diet trends?
What is that?
Diet trends: carnivore, vegan, paleo.
I think that
Mediterranean. Swiss. Is there a Swiss diet?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's good to start with. I think that
to help people change.
To help get into.
So it's a part of a journey, right?
It is, like it was for me.
I agree with that, actually. I agree that it's a part of a journey. And when people are on that part of the journey, I'm like, okay, I know where you're at. You're just not there yet.
Yeah, exactly. And like we run fasting courses. And the thing with fasting is something very interesting, because many people come in to lose weight, you know, or they have read about fasting, you know, cleansing and stuff like that. But there is so many things that happen during a fast. And so we realized that these fasting groups, it's coming back to that again, it's not about the fasting itself, but it's something to start with. And when you do that, people are, you know, discovering so many things about themselves.
How often do you fast?
I don't follow any procedure.
You just fast once.
Yeah, whenever.
Well, like what type of fast? What length of fast?
I'm not doing a strict water fast. I have quite low blood pressure, so I'm doing Walter Longo. It has a 5-day mimicking fasting that he has. Do you know Walter Longo? Can I ask you if you know him? He works at Longevity Institute.
Yeah.
And so he did a lot of research on this. And since we bring it on to other people, it's always nice to be backed by science if something happens and you know how to go about it, because we don't meet all our.
Sure.
So it's nicer.
But you promote fasting regularly. So
fasting
by the way, I believe in fasting.
Yeah, but
I started my first fast.
Yeah.
44 days.
Oh wow.
2 weeks without water too.
Oh wow.
That was my very first one.
Okay, I've never done those long fasts.
Yeah. So when you're talking about the things you learn about yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned that the addiction to food ends at 28 days.
At 28, that long.
And after 28 days, the memory of what food tastes like goes away. So there's no memory of taste. And I realized that memory is actually related to feeling. And food creates feeling.
It does. And even if you don't fast for 44 days or 28 days, you sort of start to realize so many things about your behavior, and you start to see the feelings that you have numb with food, for example. Yeah. I'm stressed, I'm sad, I'm happy, I'm this, I need to drink, I need to eat. And only that makes you realize, there's so many people who are like, but I'm hangry. Yeah, but maybe you are angry. Maybe there is, you know, something inside of you that, you know, you need to look at. And in that way, fasting is a tool to get closer to yourself.
I agree. I did 2 years, 10 to 20 days a month for 2 years.
That's long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cathartic. Changed my life.
Yeah. But yeah, fasting has changed my life too. I feel it's, but I haven't done that long, but I feel it's so many things that you believe it's you, but it's only habits, and it's only, you know, I can change those habits and those habits. And I mean, talking about alcohol, you said you drank a lot before.
Yeah.
I
don't drink at all.
No, I don't drink at all either. And I thought that I would never stop drinking, because why would I? I didn't have an alcohol problem, and I could handle alcohol. But then I just stopped one day, and I realized so many things about myself. And I realized that, oh my God, I've been so addicted to alcohol, even if I didn't think I was. And I see that our whole society is so addicted to this drug, because whatever we do, we need to have alcohol, you know. And so there are so many things you can learn by taking a step away.
When you take a step away is when you learn.
Yeah, because when you're in there, you sort of you find every reason for not take away the food, or I enjoy life, why should I fast? That's ridiculous.
Should everybody fast?
I can't answer that question. I think that if I were very sick, I would try to fast.
Dr. Sebi, you read his work?
No.
Yeah, he's the only doctor to ever, in U.S. Supreme Court, prove that he could cure disease in the history of mankind.
Oh.
Prove it, like scientifically prove it.
Yeah.
And he did it all through fasting. Cured Magic Johnson of AIDS and a whole bunch of other things. He could even tell you which day of the fast, which disease, including diabetes, type 2, type 1, would go away.
I need to read about him. You have to write it.
SEBI. Yeah.
SEBI. No, but that I would for sure recommend. I think that often sick people, they might be saying, no, you know, it's you shouldn't push anything now. You're ill. You need to eat and stuff. But I actually believe the contrary. But I do think that maybe young people having eating disorder, maybe they shouldn't jump into fasting the first thing, because then they continue on. They should try something else, I think.
Okay. So what other, fasting is one of them, what other things about food or the discipline, the rigidity around diets that you used to think that you now don't think anymore?
I don't think so much anymore about food. That's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. First, that's where I'm at. So that's what I'm asking. For me, I don't have a plan. The only thing I eat is I eat plant-based. I don't eat animal products, and I have a very specific belief system that I'm testing, and if I needed to eat animal products, I would eat them again. But I just don't feel them there. But if I was there, I would change. I'm not habituated to a belief system. I'm doing what my body says it needs.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing, right?
Yes, exactly.
How do you know what your body says? Like, how do you tell? And how do you tell if what you're telling is?
Yeah, if it's my receptors who want something.
If you're believing your own story rather than doing what your body needs.
I would say that then it's very important what we just talked about, to take something away. Let's take alcohol for an example. When I thought I had no problems with alcohol, why would I stop a little bit here? But when I took it away, I realized. So I would say when it comes to listen to yourself, I think it's part of the journey to, maybe you go into a carnivore diet, or you do fasting all the time, or you do this or you do that. But eventually, on this journey, you learn to hear. It's like a journey of listen inwards instead of outwards. And I think that at the beginning, when you never thought about it, it's so hard. It's like, I don't know what I feel and think, and I just know I'm hungry. But maybe you're not even hungry.
In the middle of all these great conversations, sometimes you still need to take a minute to stop and breathe. Let's do that together. We're going to breathe 3 times through the mouth and 3 times through the nose. This is going to activate and rebalance your parasympathetic nervous system so you can absorb more. Breathe in with me through your mouth. 2. 3. Now 3 breaths through the nose. 2. 3. Now with that simple 6-breath reset, you can go back and enjoy more content. I experienced that on the fast. What happened was 3 of us fasted together. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have been able to do it. I joke about it because even at 6 weeks, we would go down and open the refrigerator door. There's nothing in there.
No.
We would still open the door. There's sauces, because the sauces we didn't throw away because we were going to eat again. But there's all these habits around it, and you're like, are you hungry? No, I'm not hungry. Are you hungry? No, I'm not hungry. Then why are we hanging around? There's so many ingrained habits around the kitchen.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so I agree with you. There's some weird things that come out.
And I think that if you don't know, if you hear yourself, then I think maybe you don't hear yourself. because when you know you're here yourself, when you've been on this journey. So when I'm like doubting something, then I'm okay. There is something here I need to look at. Why am I doubting? What is this? It tells me something.
So how does that reflect back to your conversation about community? Do you tend to do these things together?
No, this I don't do with my community. That's where I'm not transparent.
Okay. So this is part of for me, the community originally was 3 of us. And if it wouldn't have been for the 3 of us, I wouldn't have fasted for 44 days.
No.
And I wouldn't have learned all the things that I learned about the fast because I would have been in my own world. So for me, the community aspect was actually the feedback mechanism. And that's when I learned that we're going to share everything. Like, what if a camera was on us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And pretty much a camera is on me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what if the world could see all that? And I chose to live my life that way as an accountability and reflection. And I make mistakes all the time. But that was part of it. That was actually part of the journey.
I have my community with just one person, my partner and friend. Like we have tried everything together. So it's not that I've
When's
been
her
by
birthday?
myself. It's 17th of October, 77.
Deep. Scorpio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teaching you boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. And
That's why I follow astrology.
that's why we work together.
Yeah.
She has no problem setting boundaries. I'm like, maybe you should talk to that person. She's like, why would I even talk to that person? I'm like, okay. This is how different we are. So I agree. It's very important to share your journey with someone, because it's like a mirror. You're like, am I? And you can also.
You need at least one reflection.
Yes.
Yeah, I find that having a second. So if there's a triangle, then I get an accurate pinpointing, because one reflection, I can tell somebody stories and believe their bullshit. They can believe my bullshit. But if I have a third person, usually there's a way to look at it from another point of view. The more data points, the better. That's why all the values.
I was thinking about something. Oh, it might come back. No, but the reason, this is actually very interesting. You asked if I share with my community. Some things I share with them, but some things I find will, I find I will scare them away.
Okay, but that's also a judgment, maybe to protect a fear that you have.
Yeah.
What's something that you haven't shared with your community that you think would scare them away?
I feel that when we talk about when it becomes too when you go too far outside of what is expected. Here, maybe the Swedish part comes in. Me and Mia can talk and say, shall we really share this?
But how do you know until you try?
No, we don't know. We haven't tried.
So
maybe now I shall
what's
try.
What's one thing that you haven't shared that you may have some anticipation about sharing that you haven't shared with your community? What's one thing?
Oh, it's been many things that we just shared with each other, but
just pick one.
No, but alcohol could be one, for example.
That's an easy one.
Okay.
Yeah, that one you don't get a pass on that one.
Okay, so
be bold. Go where no Swede has gone before.
Yeah, but now I can't find anything. I think we shared
intimate relationships.
No, that we haven't shared. I mean, we share on the surface. We look very. We are very sharing everything.
Yeah. So give us one.
But we're not sharing everything. Yeah, but it's so stuck, so I can't even find it. You have to help me.
Finance.
No, that we don't share.
Finance, okay. Intimate relationships.
No, we don't share. So maybe we're not so transparent
Fears.
after all. Fears we can share.
Okay. Problems you had with people in your community.
That is a good one. No.
Okay, so pick any one of those three and then share one.
Yeah, I will share problems in our community. That is something that.
What's one that you imminently fear will tear you apart? Because I'm gonna, from my own personal experience, is the one that I think is going to destroy me is the one that actually empowers me. I'm just going to tell you from personal experience. Like, I'll give you one. I wrote one called, and I encourage you to read it. I wrote an article called "Privacy is My Disease." I started it off. So let me.
Privacy is my disease.
Yeah. So let me give you a frame to think about this. AI is pretty scary, right? And also pretty cool. In a very short period of time, under 24 months, in the last 20 years and 30 years for the most part, every conversation that I've had has had something like this around it, a phone. Even when I thought it was private. I've been at bank tellers. I've talked to people when I'm going out, when I'm partying, when I'm at a bank machine taking money out. I've walked across streets where I shouldn't have been, where I said I wasn't. I've written text and emails to people that I probably wouldn't be proud of. Okay, so, and most people have done things like that in their lives. Fair statement? Okay. All of that was extraneous data that was out there. But with AI, now, even those conversations will be available to our children in 24 months. Because before you couldn't search the data, but now you can search your face on the internet. Your voice on any metadata platform in the world will be available. And with AI, you can string it together and follow you like an archaeologist. You know, like in the old days when someone would commit a murder, they didn't have enough proof, but then they had a hair follicle. Well, 30 years later, now they go, whoa, DNA evidence shows that you were there, so now we're going to convict you of murder. Well, that's what's going to happen with digital DNA in the next 24 months. So I promise you this is happening, because my background is digital DNA, encryption. So everything that I've ever said anywhere, almost anywhere, will be, unless I'm in the nature without phones somewhere, is going to be recorded and available for somebody to grab a hold of in the next 24 months. 36 on the outside. Can you imagine what that's going to do to society? And you can string it all together. I could follow you from day to day, from this person to cars, to cabs, everything.
It's sort of mind-boggling.
So knowing that that's the case, so what I did was I wrote a thing called Privacy is My Disease. And I built this whole worldwide organization, people not knowing that I had been encrypting data for the governments, that the feds arrested me because I wouldn't turn over my encryptions. They accused me of drug dealing. They put me in solitary confinement. So I hadn't said all those things, but I decided to when I realized that this was going to be the case. So here's your chance.
No, but when it comes to the community, it is. I never kicked someone out of a group, of a community, but I've sort of managed them. But it's a problem that we talked about over and over, me and I, how to go about it. Because when you have some people coming in every now and then, and you know at an instant, this will create a problem. This will take my energy that I have to focus on the big things and big group to manage this person. That we haven't been too open with.
Here, just use those.
Yeah.
Post those, use those.
Yeah.
They'll work.
Yeah. That's great. So I realize now I'm not so transparent after all.
Okay. So that would be something you could say?
Yeah, it would be something we could definitely also improve.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
look, I'm going to say that I don't know a lot about you. I know a little bit, but I know that you've written books. I know that you're building a community. I know that you've gone through this personal journey, and I can see where you are in your journey too. For me, everything changed. The turning point was that privacy. Privacy is the one thing that destroys. It creates shame. It creates guilt, shame, fear. And privacy, everybody has something that they don't want to be uncovered. And when that thing is released, it is an unbelievable freedom. Unbelievable freedom, because the only thing that could hurt me is the things I don't want people to know. But if you already know them, it can't hurt me.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest transition point for me in community. And I hope that even today's conversation leads you to go that direction, because I love what you're doing here. And the difference between a community that will thrive in the next 3 years is about authenticity. There is no lies, and everything will be revealed. And that's part of what I was sharing. I started doing this in 2020. I had a moment. I said, the world is going to know everything that I ever did. And I mean, it looks magnanimous. It looks very not grand. What's another word other than magnanimous? It looks very forward thinking to say, I'm just going to tell everybody everything. And it, and it was in a way, but the other part of it is, I just know that the DNA evidence is going to be there. And if I just know that anyways, I might as well rip the Band-Aid off and get it out of my way right now. Because it hurts less today than it hurts in 3 years.
Yeah. Yes, and it's like you say, the freedom that you feel when you have, when you're transparent, it's a wonderful feeling, actually.
So how does that relate to food and the way you live? Because if I have this feeling of fear, guilt, or shame, how does that affect my health, in your opinion?
Oh, that has a worse effect than any
the chemicals.
food. Yeah, exactly. Much more, of course.
So now we're at that point where you've come in your journey and you realize that you can put all the right food in your body.
Yeah.
But if you still have shame, guilt, fear, anger, you're
You're
gonna be sick anyway.
Yes, exactly.
Right. That's an interesting part. I really respect your journey, because that's what I've realized, and I can see the people around me, even the closest ones to me. I can see where they're still processing that. And it's okay. I have lots of compassion for them to move through that, but I can also see how it affects their health. I don't believe any disease is actually, I don't believe diseases are chemical or food-based. I believe all diseases are emotional.
The reason you, for example, eat, if we talk about food, is because you have all these feelings. That's the reason I think that you get stuck in, overeating or.
Sure.
So it's so linked to the emotions from the beginning. But that's why I also said that a diet could be the door to get closer into understanding that you are carrying those emotions.
Yeah, elimination for sure. Yeah, eliminating.
I talked to a friend who has a big problem in his marriage, and he is.
When's his birthday?
His birthday is the 4th of July.
Well,
72.
He holds all the emotions, and feels like he's being abandoned emotionally by the people around him. Probably a little overweight, or feeling it.
He loves to snack.
Yeah, a little overweight, and probably has some skin irritation issues that come up from time to time. Builds all of the community around and has them all there, bringing everybody together. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So see, I don't even have to. I just have to know his birthday to know how he acts and what his body looks like and what his life. I can tell you that he's the one organizing all the friend groups, making sure that everybody gets taken care of, bringing everybody to the party, making sure that everybody gets taken care of, and doesn't really express himself when he doesn't feel like he's valued.
That's true. But he told me he has no problems and he doesn't need to see someone to talk.
You know how I know that one?
No?
That's my daughter.
Oh. Okay.
And I just described what she does. Now you want to learn more about astrology now?
Yes, I would love to. Then I would know everything about all of you. Yeah, it's. But I really want to have this thing. I can.
For you?
Yes, that
sure.
you that you made.
That was just a scratch, a surface scratch.
Yeah, I understand. I understand, but still.
Because now I know you more, I can actually make it even more pointed, more data points.
Yeah, I would love to.
So what are some things about, what are food myths that are common that are out there right now that you want to bust? Like the ones that everybody comes to you and says this about food or diet. What are some of the things that you want to like set the record straight? Because you have a moment here where you'll be able to set the record straight in Sweden and other parts of the world.
Now, I think that often people believe that food is very complicated, and it can be extremely complicated if you go into nitty-gritty details. But if you look at the big picture, actually small changes can make miracles for people. And it's all about, it's back to basics. And I think whatever you eat, in a way, whatever you choose to eat, I believe that try to choose food from that has like plant-based food, as little processed as possible.
Do you eat plant-based?
Not 100%, but I eat
mostly?
majority plant-based. Yes, and try to keep the food as clean as possible.
What's your take on, because you're a food expert, so what's your take on oxalates? The whole thing is plants are killing you.
I'm not so worried about that.
Yeah.
At all. But I get
I have people that are like, hey, I'm not going to take that supplement you have, which has proven anti-inflammatory capabilities to an extreme level scientifically because it has curcumin and there's oxalates.
Yeah, no, curcumin. I mean, that's one. We're known for this gurkmeja, it's called in Swedish. And we make these small shots. That's why I like that I got to try this.
How do you like it, by the way?
No, it's. I mean, it was just a pill that I swallowed. So
yeah, but how do you feel?
I feel good.
Feel charged,
yes,
alive,
I feel
alert.
Yes, and I love this because it's originally it's not in the Swedish kitchen, but when we launched our book, it was sold out everywhere because we lifted so high. I mean, there are so many potent. Spices and herbs in the nature that we could add to our everyday diet. Traditionally in Sweden, we've only used like pepper and salt. So that's what I would say. Make it simple. Talking about your rules, make it simple and try to eat the basic, from nature, as little as processed possible.
So make it simple. Eat from nature. Eat what you learn to feel, eliminate, eat what you learn to eat based upon what you need, not what you think.
Yes.
These are the things that I've extracted from you today.
Yes.
And then the biggest part of extracted from you is if you do all of that right and you're still holding fear, guilt, shame, anger, sadness, it's all for naught anyways.
Exactly. Then you need to continue your journey. And I think life is a long, hopefully, journey. So, but food is a good entry.
How many books do you have?
4.
4. And name of your books?
Food Pharmacy, Food Pharmacy, Food Pharmacy, and Absolute Food Pharmacy. You
want to double down on everybody knowing that food is your pharmacy, right?
No, but we've written some text. Like the first book is called Food Pharmacy, storytelling about gut bacteria, good bacteria's Darth Vader, and it's a mix of everything.
Yeah, sure.
I don't even remember.
If people want to get involved with your community or learn more about you, how do they do that?
And they visit us at foodpharmacy.se or food_pharmacy on Instagram.
What's the next thing for you? What's your big vision? What's the grand vision that drives you?
The grand vision that drives us is that we are on a journey. So let's end where we started. We are on a journey, And it's basically our journey where we try to, navigate through life and try to live authentically as possible. And we have people joining us that, that also want to do the same journey. And we are in different places, but we share that we want to, improve. It's like I'm taking these from you now.
Yeah.
But we want to improve and live life to the fullest.
Great. Lina, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you.
Getting to know you. It's interesting how everywhere I go around the world, people who have invested themselves in the journey of either learning about food or movement or spirituality, they always come to the same place. They come through either the way they eat and live their life, the way they have emotions, or the way they think about or talk about or perceive. And everybody comes to that center point, which is coming back to realizing that it's all one thing, and not one thing works. Every expert in every form of health comes back to the same thing: is if I keep these emotions in, eventually I have a problem and I have to deal with them. So thank you for spending your time today.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this content, follow us on social media channels, The Human Garage Experience, Apple, Spotify, and all other channels. We're on a mission to inspire 1 billion people worldwide, and the way that you participate is by liking, subscribing, and sharing our content. Every share that you take brings us one step closer to that billion people. This has been a fantastic episode. We enjoyed presenting it to you. Be a part of this worldwide revolution and share it now.